Welcome to our deep dive today. We're diving deep into the Indian legal system.
Sounds intense.
It is fascinating. We're using a 12th grade legal studies textbook as our guide, and let me tell you, this isn't your typical dry textbook stuff.
Oh, I believe you. Legal textbooks can be a bit much sometimes.
Right, but this one is full of interesting cases and unique legal concepts.
I'm intrigued. What's caught your eye so far?
Well, one of the first things that jumped out was this whole idea of a unified judicial system.
Oh, unified system.
Yeah, unlike the US, with its separate federal and state systems, India operates under one massive judicial umbrella, as our textbook explains.
Wow, that's a massive undertaking, especially when you consider the size and diversity of India.
Exactly. Imagine the logistical challenges, but also the potential for consistency in applying the law across such a vast and diverse nation.
It's like comparing apples and oranges, trying to create a unified system for such different entities.
It's more like comparing a symphony orchestra to a jazz band, both beautiful music but structured so differently.
I like that analogy. So, how does this unified system work in practice? What are the guiding principles?
Well, India, like many countries, including the US and the UK, follows a common law system.
Common law, so precedent-based. That makes sense.
Exactly. But here's where India adds its own unique flavor to the mix. For instance, their approach to strict liability is fascinating.
Strict liability? Oh, you mean like in cases where intent doesn't really matter?
You got it. A prime example is the Bhopal gas tragedy.
Oh, right, a tragic event. A stark reminder of the potential consequences of industrial accidents.
Tragic indeed. And this case became a turning point for India's legal system, highlighting the power of strict liability.
So in these types of cases, the defendant's intent or carelessness isn't the primary focus.
Exactly. It's about holding those responsible accountable for the potential risks their actions create, regardless of intent.
It's about ensuring justice for the victims and preventing such tragedies from happening again.
Absolutely. Now, how are these legal battles actually fought in India? Is it as dramatic as they portray in movies, with lawyers going head-to-head in court?
You got it. India, like many common law countries, uses the adversarial system. Think of it like two sides presenting their best case to a neutral judge.
So it's a battle of arguments and evidence.
Precisely. And the judge makes a decision based on what's presented.
That makes sense. So lawyers play a crucial role in this system.
Absolutely. They use their legal expertise to advocate for their clients, building the strongest case possible.
It's like a legal chess match, with each side making strategic moves.
It's a good analogy. This system differs from the inquisitorial model used in some civil law countries, where judges take a more active role in investigating the facts.
So in India, it's more about the lawyers presenting their case, while the judge acts as a neutral referee.
Precisely. Now, speaking of the judiciary, our textbook also delves into this concept of judicial review. It seems like a pretty big deal in the Indian legal system.
Judicial review, you mean the power of the courts to review laws?
Exactly. They examine laws and government actions to ensure they align with the Constitution.
So they act as a check on the other branches of government.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like having a legal referee who can step in and say, hold on, that play doesn't follow the rules.
That's a great way to put it. It ensures everything is running according to the rule book, the Constitution.
You got it. And one of the most striking examples of this power in action is the Kesavananda Faradi case of 1973. This landmark case really solidified the significance of judicial review in India.
The Kesavananda Haradi case, what happened in that case?
This case established the basic structure doctrine. It essentially states that even Parliament can't make amendments to the Constitution that would alter its fundamental framework.
Wow, so even the government isn't above the law. That's a powerful check on power.
It is. And it shows how the Indian legal system carefully balances the powers of different branches of government, preventing any one entity from becoming too dominant.
It's a system designed to protect individual rights and freedoms, even in the face of government authority. It's like a carefully crafted dance, each branch moving in sync with the others.
A delicate balance indeed. But let's shift gears a bit and dive into the world of legal professionals in India. Our textbook mentions this whole evolution of the profession, and it's pretty fascinating.
Oh, I bet. From what I remember, the British influence played a significant role, right?
Absolutely. India's legal profession has deep roots in the British colonial era, but it's come a long way since then. One major turning point was the Advocates Act of 1961. Before that, things were a little all over the place with various legal titles like vakil or pleader floating around.
So it was a bit confusing back then.
You could say that. But this act streamlined everything, bringing all legal practitioners under one unified title, advocate.
Ah, so no more confusion about who's who in the courtroom.
Exactly. And this act didn't just tidy up titles, it also established the Bar Council of India. Think of them as the guardians of the legal galaxy.
Guardians of the legal galaxy. I like that. So what do these guardians do?
They're responsible for regulating the legal profession. They set standards for legal education, ensure ethical conducts, you name it. They're basically the gatekeepers of the profession, making sure everyone's playing by the rules.
Sounds like a pretty important job. Ensuring quality and integrity in the legal field is crucial.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of rules, did you know there's this ongoing debate in India about lawyer advertising? It's quite a hot topic.
Lawyer advertising? Really? Are we talking billboards with lawyers striking poses?
Haha, not quite. But it revolves around giving lawyers more flexibility in how they market their services.
Interesting. So what are the arguments for and against this?
Well, proponents argue that it could increase competition within the legal field, making legal services more accessible and potentially even more affordable.
That makes sense. A bit of healthy competition can be a good thing.
Exactly. But of course, there are concerns too. Some worry that allowing more advertising could undermine the profession's integrity, leading to misleading or even unethical practices.
Yeah, maintaining that ethical standard is crucial, especially in a profession like law.
Absolutely. It's a complex issue with valid arguments on both sides. Really makes you think about striking that balance between access to legal services and upholding ethical standards.
Finding that balance is key in so many aspects of the law. But speaking of access, our textbook also touches on the broader issue of access to justice in India. It's something that resonates globally, don't you think?
100%. Access to justice is a fundamental human right. It's about ensuring everyone, regardless of their background, has the opportunity to seek justice and have their voices heard.
It's about leveling the playing field and ensuring fairness for all.
Precisely. But the reality is, achieving true access to justice is a challenge faced by nations worldwide, including India.
So what steps has India taken to address this challenge?
Well, for starters, they've enshrined the right to justice in their constitution. Article 39A explicitly states that equal justice and free legal aid should be provided to all citizens, regardless of their economic background.
That's a powerful statement. But how do they put those words into action?
One key piece of legislation is the Legal Services Authorities Act of 1987. This act aims to provide free legal aid to those who can't afford it, particularly vulnerable groups like those living in poverty, women, children, and individuals with disabilities.
Providing legal aid to those who need it most is a crucial step towards equal access. But even with legal assistance, navigating the court system can be daunting, especially for those unfamiliar with legal processes. Are there any alternative approaches in India that offer a less intimidating path to justice?
You're absolutely right. Traditional court systems can be intimidating. But India has pioneered some really innovative approaches to dispute resolution. One standout example is the concept of lok adalats, often referred to as people's courts.
Look, adalats, those sound intriguing. How do they work? Are they like actual courts?
They are courts, but with a more informal and accessible approach. Lok adalats operate outside the traditional court system and focus on resolving disputes through mediation and compromise.
So it's less about legal battles and more about finding common ground.
Exactly. These courts are usually presided over by respected community members, often with legal expertise, who help guide the parties towards a mutually agreeable solution.
It sounds much less intimidating than a formal courtroom setting.
That's the idea. The emphasis is on accessibility and efficiency. And the remarkable thing is, lok adalats have been incredibly effective in resolving various disputes.
So it's a system that truly puts the people in people's courts.
Precisely. It's a testament to India's willingness to think outside the box and find solutions tailored to its unique social fabric.
It's amazing how India adapts and innovates within its legal system.
Absolutely. It's a dynamic system, always evolving. And this exploration of India's legal landscape has been fascinating, from its historical roots to the challenges they face and the innovations they've implemented.
It really highlights how law is so much more than just a set of rules. It's a living reflection of a society's values.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of evolution, what other exciting developments might be on the horizon for India's legal system?
That's a great question. What new frontiers are legal experts exploring these days?
Well, one area that's generating a lot of buzz is the role of technology in the legal sphere.
Technology and law, like using AI and algorithms.
Exactly. Imagine the potential of AI to streamline legal research, analyze vast amounts of data, or even make legal services more accessible.
It's like stepping into a sci-fi movie, bringing the courtroom into the digital age. But with all these advancements, how can India ensure its legal system stays true to its core values of justice and fairness?
That's the heart of the matter, isn't it?
Hmm.
It's about harnessing technology's power responsibly and ethically. And it all starts with education.
Education, you mean ensuring future legal professionals are equipped to navigate this new landscape?
Precisely. They need to be well-versed in both traditional legal principles and the nuances of technology, understanding how they intersect and impact justice.
It's about shaping a generation of tech-savvy legal minds who can uphold those core values in our rapidly changing world.
Absolutely. And it's not just about legal professionals, it's about fostering a broader societal understanding of these advancements.
So it's about empowering everyone to engage in meaningful conversations about the role of technology in law and its implications for justice.
Exactly. And that's what makes this deep dive into the Indian legal system so compelling. It's not just an academic exercise, it's a glimpse into a nation grappling with real-world challenges and actively shaping its legal future.
A future where technology and tradition can coexist and contribute to a more just and equitable society.
Precisely. It's a fascinating journey of evolution and adaptation.
It certainly is. Well, folks, there you have it, a deep dive into the intricacies of the Indian legal system.
We've explored its rich history, unique features, and the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.
From ancient traditions to cutting-edge technologies, the Indian legal system is a testament to the enduring human pursuit of justice and fairness for all.
It's a story that continues to unfold.
And we can't wait to see what the next chapter holds. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep the conversation going.